So this is, I believe, the third game between these two runners. These settings, I believe, were chosen randomly. Apparently, Uncle is going to go watch the moth tutorial, which he may need if he's only got Fighter's Sword.
Yeah, don't think he'll need that because Even manages to lose in the sewers with no enemy in sight. But yeah, still nice to check beforehand.
All right, so as we head out to escape, we notice the map of Eastern Palace. That means that our runners will be able to tell what crystal or pendant is in Eastern by checking their map. If you don't have the map, you will not know that.
Yes, and also no need to try to rely on the music of the dungeons because they've been randomized as well. So even if you hear crystal dungeon music, that doesn't mean it's going to be a crystal dungeon. It could very well be a pendant dungeon.
Yep, we are seeing a pretty nice pickup early on. That's a 100 rupee drop. A lot of times in Key Sanity, rupees can be hard to come by to start with, and that is actually the only 100 rupee drop in the game, so that's pretty interesting.
Yeah, our runners will also be looking for some bombs in order to check the 3 last chests of this escape sewers. But I think depending on the loot pool randomization, they might not be able to find one.
Well, we did just find a glove. That's going to make the need for finding those bombs a little less urgent, as you can easily use those gloves to get back into escape if necessary.
Also, although not in logic, that would give both our runners an early access to the Death Mountain. Not in logic because you would need the lamp in order to check it normally, or the flute, but that won't stop our runners. And with some bombs, I think the issue has been settled already.
There we go. So we will not be leaving behind anything important in the back of Escape today. Oftentimes I will see the play up to Death Mountain early with a sequence break, just because there's a hint up there now.
So, and before anyone in chat screams, oh, is this randomized? This key will always be here, so there's no way for this key to be anywhere else inside the world of Zelda.
We also know that the very next chest is guaranteed to be the Hyrule Castle small key, otherwise we would be unable to get out of this dungeon. We would have a broken standard Key Sanity on our hands. Alright, Salty making his way out of the escape. iamtheschwarz right behind. That is about 4 seconds difference coming out of that coming out of the staircase. And there we go, into the escape, into the dark section.
So, Bob, they don't have the lamp. How come they can see inside?
Well, that is the upside of the standard mode. The standard mode will always give you a free light cone here in the escape section, just because, you know, we want to be able to randomize the lamp so it's more fun, but we also don't want to alienate players who just want to play the standard mode and can't get out of escape. So we make that available, and then later on, you're on your own as far as the lamp goes. Interestingly enough, if you have to come back here without the glove to go to the back of escape and you have to go through the front again, you'll still have the free light cone even if you don't have the lamp. So it's not just for the rain state, it's for the entire game.
Okay. And we'll get our check at the last chest. And we've got the lamp, so we won't have any dark rooms and some safeties as well.
And also a extremely useless key to Misery Mire. So the Misery Mire keys, the only thing that is relevant about the Misery Mire keys is there are 2 chests in there that, for logic purposes, the game wants you to have all 3. So if you find, say, all 3 Mire small keys, you might suspect that there's something on the left-hand side. That was the Moon Pearl.
Ooh, so that might indicate us that our runners might soon do also a fake flipper, thanks to this Moon Pearl.
Yeah, the fake flipper action with the Moon Pearl makes it a lot more effective. You can check the 2 chests in the waterfall as well.
And both runners heading straight to the last route, none of them wanting to check Aghanim first. So we'll have 2 items here, and yeah, just some hearts on the triple, not really useful. Some arrows, no one's gonna get them.
I stand corrected, Schwarz picked up those arrows. And then looks like we have a flute inside the hideout there, which means we will get to say hi to everybody's favorite swag duck here in a minute.
Indeed, the national anthem will soon be played within the first 10 minutes of this seed, and that means also mobility for both runners, which is great for them.
Yeah, the more places you can go, or the faster you can get to these places, the better. And if you find the flute in that one location, you know your opponent found it, so you better put it to good use. So, pro tip for those of you running, hey, the Swamp Small Key, nice. When you're in Blind's Hut, you should both. When you're in Blind's Hut, you should both bomb the north wall and actually go get the chest.
Yeah, with this Swamp Small Keys from the beginning, your hopes for a pet seed are a bit lowered, or at least an interesting pet seed.
Well, I do like finding the Swamp Small Key really at any point. It just kind of makes the whole place a little more interesting. So one of my things is in open mode, standard mode, I tend to think that Swamp is way less valuable than it should be given the number of items. That theory basically goes out the window in Key Sanity, because Key Sanity, there's just too much in there.
So an early big key to T-Rock, as well as the map of Desert Palace, so our runners will be able to check Eastern as well as Desert Palace regarding their pendant or crystal affiliation. And a quite useful bottle from the bottle vendor, almost vanilla because it's filled, and you'll be able to check the secret key straight away.
I wonder if that bee is a good bee or not. Because if it's a good bee, you can sell it right back to him for the purchase price.
And Seekid having the most useful map of the game, the Ganon's Tower map, as useful as the Hyrule Castle map, which is basically no use at all. Both areas, we just don't need to know what they are. Hyrule Castle, well, we just do it in the beginning, and Ganon's Tower has to be done anyway, so yeah.
It is a good bee. That's a free 100 rupees. So basically, you got a free bottle from the bottle vendor is what you got. And the big key of Pod in the chicken hut. All right, library, just some bombs, so that will go out of your memory as a runner. Just not worrying about that anymore. And we'll head over to the race game. Powder. Okay. And saltyphry is leaving the powder on the race game.
Yeah, quite an interesting choice, because the powder won't be any use to him at the moment, because you would need the hammer or the Titan's Mitt and mirror in order to check the magic bat. But it's a safety that most runners like to get as far as it's easily available, and this race game is actually maybe 30 seconds time consuming, not more. So interesting choice from saltyphry.
We'll see. We'll see if that powder turns out to be necessary. I find that items in Sphere 1, items that are available from the word go, are very often going to be required in Key Sanity. But as you said, there's no reason to panic about it now. And it does kind of make sense, like, he can always come back and get it when he's headed, when he has the proper materials.
Yeah, iamtheschwarz on his side deciding to get it. So he's got this out of the way. Meanwhile, saltyphry is heading to the mini Moldom cave. 5 items there. Let's see what he's gonna get. Oh, Beast Rat.
So while iamtheschwarz went for the monetary refund, saltyphry decided to put the bee to good use and take out the mini Moldorm cave. There's the Titan's Mitts, and that's our Dark World access already.
And iamtheschwarz on his side choosing to check. Holy moly! Yeah, a really helpful Agina check right now straight off the bat. So if he decides to go to Death Mountain, he'll have the right side completable. And if he does Mini Moldom before that, he'll be also able to check the Dark Death Mountain fully.
And it does look like that's what iamtheschwarz is doing. So iamtheschwarz is really sort of doing a strategy that I kind of like, and that is, trying to take care of all these Sphere 1 locations in Key Sanity. That way you don't leave anything important behind.
Also, we noticed saltyphry heading back to Kakariko. Seems like he forgot to activate his flute.
Whoops.
Yeah, can happen. Most of the time you do not expect to get it that fast in your seeds. And is gonna go now with the Ice Rod check. The flute is really handy in order to get these out of locations quite easily. You can go faster to Agina, you can go faster to the Witch, as well as the southeastern area of Hyrule with Lake Hylia. But yeah, not activating it cost him some time. Not much, but a bit.
Alright, so there is some bombs over in Ice Rod Cave. We note iamtheschwarz taking care of Mini Moldorm Cave with the probably most effective weapon, that being the hook shot. And it does look like saltyphry will also be going for the Agina's Cave play before heading to either Death Mountain or the Dark World, so that's going to be, Pretty good call on his part, I think. And we are up to Death Mountain for iamtheschwarz. We're going to go ahead and rescue that old man and then see what sort of shenanigans we can find up here. Basically, the only places up here that aren't currently accessible include the dungeons and like the Ether Tablet and Spike Cave.
Also Spectacle Rock, because they are still missing the mirror in order to go up there.
You can't get on top of it. You can get inside for the item that's in there, plus the hint. Saltyphry is going to go ahead and take those Titan's Mitts and put them to use in the Misery Mire area. There are 2 items we can find here, and we can check what the medallion was. My brain did not like the look of that. I was unable to recognize what medallion that was.
Oh, and inside Spectacle Rock, we've got an item that iamtheschwarz is gonna go get. Which is... Did you get what item it was?
I did not. I was looking at the
I'll let you discover it by yourself.
Oh! Oh, hello there. We have ourselves a Kanu Samaria, which, at least this time, is not on the pedestal. So, rip double cane ped.
Yeah, I think both runners are quite happy to see this red cane so early in the game, because it was really elusive for both of them in the last game. Yeah, a red cane on ped is really disruptive, even in an all dungeon seed.
Alright, so we're getting some confirmation that that tile for Misery Mire was the Bombos medallion.
Let's hope for both runners that they'll find this Bombos medallion earlier than in the last game. They took quite some time to get it. But yeah, this seed seems to be giving straight from the beginning. So 13 minutes Dark World access, the red cane, the hookshot, and the flute already here.
Silver arrows.
Okay, why not?
Yeah. So with Key Sanity, you can almost expect to have, you know, at least Tempered Sword and Silvers by the time you reach Ganon, just because you're going to be checking so many things. Hey, Bombos!
Hello, Moni as well.
And that'll do it for Paradox Cave. Pretty nice Paradox Cave. You got Bombos, you got silver arrows, and you got enough money to handle basically everything for the rest of the game.
Indeed, and with the gloves and mitts already in hand, Zora is as well already in logic. And as chat is telling us, Mire is now completely clearable if they find the big key.
Yep. This does make it seem likely that there may be something in Mire, not behind the Firelock section, but somewhere else. So like the lobby chest or the chests on the right. We might have some important item there, like the bow. Bow seems good there. There's the Castle Tower small key. So what that does is that unlocks access to both chests in Castle Tower. I mean, we already had access to one, but now you can access both. And Castle Tower in Key Sanity has the unique distinction of actually having items that aren't keys.
and it also has a hint. So if our runners get bottlenecked at some point, we might see them go for the castle tower or Aghanim tower play. They won't be able to finish it because they will need a second key. But as of now, Agony might still be required because they do not have the flippers or the hammer in order to access the eastern portion of the Dark World.
Yeah, and they don't even have the boots to kind of cheese it either. There's a way to sort of do a boots water walk to get over there from Skull Woods. But I mean, we can check the Turtle Rock medallion here, which in this case is Ether. Right. I neglected to mention that you can't actually access Agate Tower at the moment due to the lack of sword or cape, but swords will be forthcoming. Come on.
Yep, they might be coming, but not inside the Hookshot cave. Hookshot was a complete bust.
All right, so I would not be surprised to see iamtheschwarz go to 6 here now. Nope, going to 3. Just going to start doing the West Dark World proper chain. Both runners have gone to the Uncle because it was also standard. All right, so we're going to get to see the chest game. 30 rupees to open 2 chests, one of which will contain your prize. And it's a piece of heart today, but I'm almost more excited about the 100 rupees. I don't know why.
Yeah, pay to play a game and get more money than before you played. That's, yeah, I
If
don't
only
think
that
that's...
could happen in inverted mode.
Indeed.
All right, so we've got the map of Ice Palace over on the right-hand side in the Sea House. And we'll see the Bombable Hut, or the brewery, as it's called in the spoiler logs. Ten additional arrows.
So seems like iamtheschwarz will then go to do the digging game. We might see him then go for the route to Stompy and the Hype Cave later. Do you think we'll get a nice Hype Cave this seed, or as disappointing as the latest ones?
I don't know. I think Hype Cave will probably have something interesting. What I'm surprised by is the fact that iamtheschwarz did not elect to check the first 4 chests of Thieves Town.
I think he might be waiting to get maybe the big key before heading there in order to maximize his route and optimize it. saltyphry, meanwhile, is going to give us a look at these 4 first chests.
When I'm playing Key Sanity, I tend to think of Thieves Town as like a 4-chest overworld cave with an optional back entrance. Because it's not that long to come in and check these first 4. The small key to Hera on Stumpy. And there's a Master Sword in the front of Thieves Town.
So now we have Castle Tower access, at least on saltyphry's side.
All right, so bombs and 5 rupees. Now, saltyphry will be heading out of here. I'm not sure which is faster at this point, taking this death warp or just walking out. It's going to be 9 hits to take the death warp. And you can sort of walk up the stairs and head left.
Meanwhile, we had a look at the hype cave. And yeah, that's a straight 0 out of 10 for me.
Just like straight garbage across the board. Sounds like hype cave to me.
Yeah, 300 rupees, which we do not really need anymore because both runners are already loaded. Pieces of hearts, yeah, garbo.
Alright, well, it looks like Thieves Town had just at least a little bit more help than that. What with that sword. And I think Schwartz is going to head to do the fake flipper play. I am mistaken. He's fluting away. Ah, here we go. Now we're doing the 6. There is a good chance that there is a dip into Misery Mire incoming.
Yeah, and if not a dip, at least activation of the entrance. Is got the medallion, so should better activate it straight away. But so far, we didn't get any useful big key. I mean, there's no big key to any dungeon that we might be able to do at the moment. We've got the part big key, but we still have no hammer, no bow to unlock access to Helmazor, and we're also lacking on many small keys. Yeah, what is left now for both runners to go to?
Well, I mean, there's still like the front of Eastern and Sahasrara, which neither runner has checked. That's still, you know, in the very first set of locations available, so it could be we're missing some of the initial things the seed wanted you to have. Alright, we've got ourselves saltyphry picking up that Tower of Hera small key.
Also interesting to see is that is doing the Smith check, or he will do the Smith check as soon as he's finished his tour of Darkworld. Yeah. Meanwhile, iamtheschwarz dipping Mire. We'll soon have a look at several chests here. Yeah. If he can't go to Vitreous already, but even if he could, just the fighter sword would be quite difficult for him.
All right, so there's a second small key to Turtle Rock. That's going to be interesting once we find that Ether Medallion. Early Turtle Rock keys can indicate some possible progression in that spot, even without the Fire Rod or Ice Rod. There's a Skull Wood small key, which is not actually necessary to beat the dungeon, but the logic still expects you to have it from Mothula. So again, when you see a couple of Skull Woods keys, you're thinking, okay, maybe the seed wants me to kill Moth. Now, of course, we don't have the Fire Rod, so that's a moot point, but you get the idea.
Okay, we get a Smith check on saltyphry's side. And our swordsmiths have today the red mail. Not necessary for runners, but
Schwartz has the boots.
Ooh, wow, now we're gonna go real fast.
We were not kidding about the potential for there being something in Misery Mire, and that is where it pays off. You'll note Schwartz did not go to the left side here. And a third T-Rock key. Wow, that's really interesting.
I think your wish of seeing an early T-Rock play might come true. Saltyphry will check now Saraswata's hut, and if we see an Ether medallion there, I think we both know what that means.
We've got a hammer, 10 arrows, and ether. Oh my goodness.
Ooh, whoa. So complete Dark World access and T-Rock access as well. Because you also need the hammer in order to access T-Rock. Oh my.
Okay, so we now have access to a good portion of Turtle Rock. We don't have the big key, so we can't get all the way through it. And we also don't have the mirror, so we can't quite get to Mimic Cave.
We do have the big key to T-Rock.
Oh, well then, I stand corrected.
So they might choose to not open the original big key chest, and then they will be able to fully complete the dungeon, just letting this one chest aside.
Well, there would be two chests they wouldn't be able to... Yeah. There'd be two chests they couldn't access on the right side without the fire rod. And then, of course, Trinex would be inaccessible without fire and ice rods. But the rest of the chests, that's, 9 of them, are available. We have a small key to Ice Palace on the left-hand side of Mire as well. Now, if you find the 4th small key to Turtle Rock, you go for the middle chest where the vanilla big key is. Because that thing is almost guaranteed to have something if you find all 4 pod keys, or all 4 T-Rock keys that early.
Yeah, and we see iamtheschwarz, which is gonna do his boots check with bonk rocks, and because you've got Titans, he'll also check King's Tomb straight after that. Let's see what he's got to offer. Red goo.
A second bottle.
Another safety.
And King's Tomb is up. Just a big 20. All right. Schwarz was going to flute away, decided against it. As I believe...
Looks like a lumberjack check.
Yeah, that was not the first thing that was coming to my mind. I was thinking maybe he wants to go check the magic bat, but you could flute to 3 for that. A sword. We got a sword there on Lumberjack Cave. Which is kind of annoying if you're one of these runners, because you don't want to have to do Aghanim.
Yeah, we might see our runners head to Aghanim if they don't manage to find the tempered sword. But, I mean, they've got the silvers already. They have to find the bow anyway in order to finish the game. So I think both runners are good enough to do a Master Sword Ganon. I'm not sure we're gonna see Aghanim today.
Yeah. If anything, I think that just tells us that we will not be seeing Gold Sword Ganon.
Also interesting to note, maybe, yeah, iamtheschwarz is gonna get his cape right now. We had a hint actually in Maya telling that the cape is here. So it will be interesting to see what the Bumper Ledge cave has to offer.
So we have the Schwarz, what are you doing? You have a small key.
You might want to save it in order to
is he gonna steal this one? Nope. Alright, so saltyphry now picking up that last T-Rock key. And iamtheschwarz going to go ahead and head to the back of Skull Woods. There's one chest back here that the Cane of Samaria makes infinitely more simple to access.
Yeah, that third bottle wasn't necessary. So with the cape in his possession, iamtheschwarz is now gonna have a look at the bumper ledge. Let's see if it's got an interesting item.
It's a small key, so I mean that's interesting in my book.
Yeah, there's a great chance that this key is required, and saltyphry now picked up his powder and will give us a bad check.
Yeah, so saltyphry will be the last one to pick up the powder and the first one to actually check it. It's an Ice Palace small key. And Magic Bat is the map of Thieves Town, so that'll give you some information, but that's about all you will get from that.
Yeah, so the maps do indicate if it's a crystal or a pendant, but I saw runners also pick up some compasses. What do these compasses do for key sanity?
Well, in Key Sanity, the compasses are going to give you a little counter at the top of your screen, which will tell you how many items you've grabbed in each dungeon. Or how many locations you've opened, and such. That does include guaranteed locations like that one Skullwoods key. So sometimes you can walk into Skullwoods, see 7 out of 8, and you're like, wait, what? Oh, I didn't grab the Skullwoods key. Things like that. And it can be very useful for when you, I don't know, forget an item and need to go diving your dungeons and see which ones you forgot a thing in.
Or if you're like me and don't necessarily know where all the chests are and need to check them. And Pet Cave has a small key.
The Turtle Rock small
The
key?
fourth
Okay.
key.
Okay,
Alright.
if there's not something in the vanilla big key chest of pod, something is weird.
Yeah, the TR play is getting more attractive by the minute at this stage.
Yeah, so we have all 4 T-Rock keys and 0 pod keys. What kind of weird world are we living in right now?
A key sanity world?
I guess that's accurate. saltyphry has left the purple chest behind. And that is a full heart for saltyphry. And that's a flute to 1. I would not be surprised to see a dip straight for Turtle Rock here.
Also worth noting that he can also dip Tower of Hera and check 3 chests inside. He's got the fire source. He's got the small key. Yeah, I think the TR play is the one he's gonna make from the beginning.
Well, I think we go to Hera first, and the reason for that is we don't have the mirror, so we can't come back to the light world quickly. So we'll take care of Hera and then head over to Turtle Rock.
I see you're better at rutting than me.
And
and
I
so
don't know
are
about
the
that.
runners.
All right, so iamtheschwarz is dipping into Eastern Palace, where saltyphry did not. The big key of Thieves Town available in Tower of Hera.
Okay,
That's
so
going to be
Thieves Town.
pretty nice once you use it.
Thieves Town is now completable, but it cannot check the big key chest, the big chest.
Right, and of course, the logic assumes that you will have the small key as well to beat Thieves Town. That was another sword inside Eastern Palace, so that is going to be all 4 of our swords.
And a nice hint straight after telling us that left side swamp can be just fully skipped.
Good. Alright, so saltyphry is getting that coffee break strats in here for the for Tower of Hera. And we'll get to see what's locked in this particular location. The Compass of Eastern in Eastern, which you may have noticed some numbers appeared as soon as he picked up that compass. Alright, so saltyphry did go to Tower of Hera and checked the basement, got a full heart, and then decided to leave. I guess, okay, so he didn't check King's Tomb, and he did just get the Thieves Town big key, so that would perhaps lead him in that direction.
Yeah, let's see if the back of Thieves Town have some progression or keys for both runners, but the more this is advanced, the more we're diving into it, the more Turtle Rock is getting attractive. And yeah, I think we will see some progression inside.
So the reason that Thieves Town requires the small key is because the logic has to make sure that no matter what you do with your keys, even if the thing that you did is particularly bad, that it doesn't completely lock you out of the game. So if you don't have the small key, then one thing you might do is pick up the small key in the room with the switch on the way up to the attic, and instead of using that on the door that's immediately right there, you go downstairs and use it on the door to the big key chest. If you do that, you no longer have any keys to complete the dungeon. You can't bomb a hole in the floor or anything like that, and you're just kind of, you know, shot.
So that means that although they do have the big key of Thieves Town, the game doesn't expect them to finish it at the moment.
All right, iamtheschwarz now taking the blacksmith on a tour. I don't know why we're not in Turtle Rock. Turtle Rock is like, hello.
Yeah, meanwhile, Thieves Town is only a pendant, so yeah, saltyphry is dipping a pendant dungeon, which is not in logic because of his small key, as you said. While T-Rock, they can't finish it, but there are so many chests inside they can check. It's almost a crime not to check them at the moment.
The idea of having all 4 Turtle Rock keys, just the the way the seed would have to be placed, or the fact that you found all 4 Turtle Rock keys this early, indicates that early on in the shuffle algorithm, something good was placed in that big key chest, and it's very likely that that's the case. Like, I could do a Bayesian analysis, but I don't know exactly how to do it completely. And there we go. I am the Schwarz picking up that random red mail.
Okay, so saltyphry is now gonna go back upstairs. He'll check this hint, which is bogus. And it will now delve into the basement. So it still has 1 chest as well as the loot on blind to get from this dungeon, right?
Yeah, that is it. Now, the chest down here next to the maiden, this item right here is in logic without the small key. Everything else in the back is not. But it's just 10 arrows, so it doesn't matter. I mean, I basically always bank on a required Turtle Rock. This is... or double dip Turtle Rock. This is key sanity we're talking about here.
Yeah, and when, as you said, when key sanity hands you all the keys over, plus the medallion, plus the hammer, all the access to the dungeon, just not the rods. It just screams, please come to T-Rock.
What would be interesting is if, like, the first chest in Pod had the fire rod or something dumb.
Yeah, fire rod would be actually really great for the both runners because they have direct access to 2 extra keys. What would be really dumb for them would be getting, for example, the flippers, where it just says, hey, you can partially access Ice Palace.
Hmm.
And I am the Schwarz getting trolled by the Dead Rocks. They're not playing nice today.
Yeah, Dead Rocks are the worst. Alright, so saltyphry checked the bumper cave before heading over to Skull Woods. If he checked the hint in Misery Mire, he knows that the cape is over here, so he's pretty justified in heading this direction now.
Meanwhile, I am the Schwarz answering our prayers and heading inside Turtle Rock.
All right, Turtle Rock hint is a heart container is in the purple chest. Thanks a lot, game.
Well, I think the game is telling them right now, hey, you should have dipped in before doing the specialist.
I mean, yeah, that's probably true. The bow in Turtle Rock, that's one useful thing.
Useful in the long term, but as of now, it still doesn't unlock anything. They still need the key to Eastern Palace. The big key
the bow actually unlocks, logically, the bow actually unlocks about 5 chests right now. Because you can get through the right side of Pod without using a key.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's actually 4 locations, but still, it's pretty neat. And I've had to go into Pod with just the bow and no small keys before, as part of the logic. Yeah, I believe both runners did the purple chest, so
Yes, we both did. So they'll both be angry at the Turtle Rock hint.
So Schwartz should go ahead and check this middle chest here. It's possible there's something here. It's possible there's not, but it would be very strange to get all these Turtle Rock keys and there not be something here. Because this, along with Trinex, are the only two chests in the dungeon that actually require all four Turtle Rock keys. It's a pod key. Okay, that's something.
At 50 minutes, 50 seconds, we get the first pod key of a Kids AT game. Whoa, that's late.
So now we'll probably head outside, go ahead and check the big chest, one more chest on the way to Laser Bridge, and probably all of Laser Bridge. What are you doing, Schwartz? Schwartz? Okay.
Also worth noting that even though they do not have any shields, the laser bridge is full in logic thanks to the cave they picked up earlier.
Yep, so the cape gives you access to Laser Bridge logically. Our runners will have no problems doing the laser skip trick to avoid having to waste all that magic. A blue rupee in the crystal roller room. And we move directly to Laser Bridge. 4 additional items ready for the taking. Both rods are back here. I'm going to laugh.
iamtheschwarz, not forgetting there is a full magic refill here on the right side. Quite useful if he gets any troubles doing his laser skips. These lasers hit like a truck.
Yeah, not as much of a truck when you've got that red mail, but yeah, he's not even bothering with the laser skips. The cape is doing just fine for him. Half magic, I'll certainly take that. And a second pod key. So those are 2. I mean, we got a bow and 2 pod keys. Where do you think we should go?
Castle Tower?
I mean, you're not wrong, but you could go to Castle Tower. That'd be pretty interesting.
I'm sorry, after seeing so many hints from the hint system, I'm not really able to receive hints correctly. But yeah, 2 keys, the bow. They just need the big key in order to then maybe
they have the big key.
Go straight to him. Oh, when did they get that?
Pod big key, I think was like, I think it was Chicken Hut.
Okay, so actually they would also be able to go straight to Elmazor.
Yeah, I'd be... You could clear out a good portion of the chests in this dungeon and go to Helmasaur with just 2 keys. Ooh, saltyphry electing not to go to the back of Turtle Rock.
That's an interesting play.
So saltyphry will be making the first play into Eastern Palace. We'll be picking up Tempered Sword. I'm sorry, I just missed what that hint was.
It was just the Swamp Light World hint with just a piece of heart.
All right.
So a really useless one.
Yeah. Just a miscellaneous item hint there. As iamtheschwarz heads to the right side of pod, what do we have? Big 20. And a pod key.
Yeah, I think there are 14 chests altogether inside this dungeon, so it's not really unusual to get a vanilla key.
Yeah, it's fairly common actually. One thing you can notice is that when you pick up a key of the current dungeon, it's actually a different color than the other keys. The keys of other dungeons are slightly brighter in color. iamtheschwarz went for the vanilla big key chest, which is going to go ahead and use up one of those keys he picked up and get a red boomerang as well. And it looks like iamtheschwarz is not going to be conserving keys here.
That's quite interesting because with the bow, he can fully skip the door he just used the key on, and that means that if he wants to finish the dungeon, he will need to find the 2 last keys.
Yeah, I don't think he intends to finish the dungeon. I think he intends to get as many items as he can, so... And he wanted to get that front chest taken care of. That is a reasonable way of doing it, but one thing you could have done here is instead of going through the middle door there, you could have gone to the right-hand side and had a key for this door in the back. But doesn't matter because iamtheschwarz just picked up another one. Because of course he picked up another one. There's the big key of Tower of Hera. And a book here in the back of pod.
So we now get partial desert access, and Tower of Hera is fully clearable. Don't think our runners did a map check of Hera, so I'm not sure if it's worthwhile for him to go and clear it. But iamtheschwarz here is gonna go set up a bomb jump in order to conserve his last key.
Yeah, so interestingly enough, iamtheschwarz electing to set this up the hard way because that looks like a pixel too high. Yeah, because if you come in from the other room and start coming down, you actually get a lot more time to set up these pixels.
We got meanwhile oh, how's it called? Sorry. The ferry on the north side, the 2 items that were just useless, and the ledge of Zora doesn't have anything useful, just a map. Maybe saltyphry will pick it just to see if it's dungeon with a crystal pendant, but we'll also see our favorite scammer right now. What does Zora has for us? A small key.
To pod. Well, there we go. Now we're on 5 pod keys, which may, like in general, which means that the items that iamtheschwarz gets over here once he finally makes the hammer jump will be in logic for someone. Okay, right there. Don't move. That's it. Don't move. You're leaving one too many pixels on the bomb on the screen. That's not going to work, Schwarz.
And we've got saltyphry also heading to pod. So that will be interesting to see if saltyphry catches up on iamtheschwarz with his time loss with the bomb jump.
All right, that is it. He had it. And that's still it. And he's trying to move up. He's trying to leave one pixel from the bomb on it, and that is not where you go. You want to be exactly covering the bomb with the menu. So iamtheschwarz is going to have some real trouble getting through this jump.
Yeah, and saltyphry is gonna gain some time on him. If saltyphry's
stay right there. Oh, he's got it. I guess he didn't have the right first pixel, because the second pixel was right. Okay, I'm gonna start paying attention to the other side of the screen. Sorry for interrupting you there.
No worries.
All right, Schwarz is just going to use the key.
Which means that you will have to pay Zora a visit in order to finish. Flippers! Well, that's one way to tell you, hey, go to Zora.
There is that. All right, so saltyphry is joining Schwarz in pod, and let's be fair, saltyphry will be able to full clear this thing. If he correctly executes the hammer jump, he will be able to get every single... Well, okay, he didn't get the last pod key off of the laser bridge. But if he correctly executes the hammer jump and never opens the front door, he could clear the entire dungeon.
Yeah, I think he won't use the middle door when he gets his second pod key inside. I think he's gonna go for a direct Almazor kill.
All right, so Ether Tablet has a whole lot of squat, and iamtheschwarz will now be heading to Tower of Hera. And we've got the big key of Eastern in the big chest of Pod. So hello.
That's quite mirrored. Yeah, I'm not sure if he wants to dive into his burn once again. He did that already. There are 2 items left, then one on the boss and one in the big chest. But it's a pendant. Bob, would you go back there?
Well, I mean, if the tracker is accurate, it looks like it might be the green pendant, which would, make it 3 items. That makes it a little more appealing. So it looks like saltyphry did go ahead and open the front door, I think.
No, it didn't. He's still got 1 key left, so he'll be able to go straight to Elmazor, and he checked basically. Oh wait, he's got 12 out of 14. Which chest is he missing?
He didn't check the vanilla big key chest. Oh, he didn't do the hammer jump. Okay, sure. So he's left the front door closed, but he decided not to do the hammer jump. That's cool.
And we know that the big key chest didn't have anything useful, so he won't miss that. But it might still be on the back of his mind later if he finds himself bottlenecked.
Right. All right, so I'm the Schwarz. New information. There's the mirror inside of Tower of Hera. Also, another pretty nice piece of information. A piece of heart is in Mimic Cave, so no need to go back there right after you get the necessary implement to actually go to Mimic Cave.
A useful hint, a rare thing to be seen as of late, but a quite welcome one.
But speaking of mirror, you know what that puts in logic?
Swamp Palace?
That is correct. There are still 8 locations in Swamp Palace which are potentially useful. No, I think 7. I think we saw a big key of Swamp Palace hint didn't we?
So we did see the hint of a big chest, which has useless stuff. I think some money or a piece of heart. But yeah, left side we also got a hint of that as well, where there were nothing. But yeah, you can now dive inside, you can finish the dungeon, and it wouldn't take too much time because you know exactly what to skip. Actually, it would be a really good play now. I think iamtheschwarz might go for, or might not.
Mega Tower, apparently.
Yeah. A well-known swamp Aga Tower.
I mean, it could have been built on the swamp. Maybe the first 3 Hyrule castles were built in the swamp, and then that one, the first one, well, it sank into the swamp, and the second one, it also sank into the swamp. The third one burned down, got crushed, and then sank into the swamp, and then the fourth one stayed up.
Yeah. Also worth noting, with the flippers we got inside pod, dipping Ice Palace is in logic. We can't logically not finish it. We cannot finish it logically because we would need the big key. But with a well-known bomb jump, our runners might be able to get past it. And they've got bombos to break the shell.
The big key of Evil's Bane is in plain sight. So that means it's lying around somewhere. That is a few specific locations. For example, the Desert Palace torch, or the Ganon's Tower torch, or I think Graveyard Ledge is in that, and Grove Ledge. So those places with the mirror.
Yeah, Mushroom was just nothing, just a big 20, but that's where the flute comes really handy. You flute in, give it up, goes back, you just switch screens, come back, and you've checked it. No need to walk or swim to there. Yeah, 20 rupees. Not that interesting.
Alright, so Fiddle Ninja with the info in the chat. Apparently there might have been a big key on Floating Island that I didn't see when that happened, so that would be interesting. No, Hammer Pegs was a Turtle Rock small key. A lumberjack has been checked. It was a sword, and that was pretty nice. Saltyphry not going for the bomb jump. Which is interesting. I guess it means he does not intend to finish the dungeon.
Yeah, Swamp with a great hits where the boots are. Many thanks. It's not as if both runners were already wearing them.
There is that. Ice Rod!
Hello, Ice Rod!
Ice Rod and Swamp, and the big key of Swamp in Ice.
In Swamp. Yeah, in Ice.
That being said, we don't need the big key of Swamp.
Yeah, I'm not sure if saltyphry checked the hint or not related to the big chest of Swamp, so maybe he'll use it anyway.
I mean, maybe I'm missing something, but I think if you don't have the big key, in order to finish the dungeon, you have to do the bomb jump.
Yeah, there's no way for him to access, as far as I know, Cold Stare without doing the bomb jump. Maybe he forgot that he didn't pick up the small key.
The big key, yeah. Alright, so there is a big 20, saltyphry heading downstairs. He's got his hook shot out, so I'm thinking he thinks he has the big key.
And iamtheschwarz gets the small key of Thieves Town inside Swamp.
Interesting. I believe Schwartz has not gone back to Thieves Town, so that will give him one extra check he can do in that second trip into Thieves Town that saltyphry was unable to do. Compass of Skull Woods.
I don't think all runners care much for the numbers that are shown on top of the screen. So yeah, don't think they're delighted seeing this. Oh, we get Desert Pass small key on Schwartz's side.
Ah, that's pretty interesting. Is going to unlock quite a few more items there in Desert Palace. Of course, in logic, Desert Palace does require both the small and big key to complete, for the same reasons that, you know, Thieves Town requires a small key. Alright, so saltyphry just walked all the way back out of Ice Palace so that he could do the bomb jump. And Schwartz is getting the cold Argus battle going, and with the nice, very nice hook dash poke strats taking care of Argus in just a few
and
cycles.
A nice quick kill with the silvers as well, but only for 20 rupees, but gets his second crystal.
So that ice rod, of course, very important. I believe you mentioned the Thieves Town small key, also potentially important. So we will see. Does look like Schwartz will also probably be heading over toward Ice Palace, which is not surprising, to be fair.
Yeah, he just checked his map, so hey, it's a crystal and hey, I can finish it. And is also gonna get us the Lake Alia check, which is a big key.
The big key of Ganon's Tower. There we go.
Hiding in plain sight, as the hint promised us.
So if you guessed Lake Hylia Island, how? How did you guess that? And of course, iamtheschwarz gets the hint right after picking up the key. All right, saltyphry dealing with cold stare right now.
Needs to be careful though, even with red mail. Cold stare still hits quite hard, but he's got it under control. And done.
Under control with emphasis on the troll. Sorry. All right, so we will see where saltyphry heads next. I'm gonna guess that swamp might be something on his mind, though he might also decide to go up to Hera.
Yeah, he might need this mirror first.
Yeah.
So Hera seems to be the play, and he'll be rewarded with getting the mirrors to access swamp.
But he's not going to Hera, he's going to desert. Now, unfortunately, it is Schwarz who has the Desert Palace small key, so saltyphry will only be able to access a grand total of 2 locations at the moment. And real quick shout outs to Nictron84 for that subscription. Thank you very much. There is the 6th and final pod key in Desert, putting all those shenanigans in logic.
So that means that when iamtheschwarz dips inside the Desert Pass, he will then be able to complete pod.
All right, saltyphry will now be heading up to Tower of Hera. Having to go the long way, of course, due to the lack of mirror, which, as we know, is in Tower of Hera.
Yeah, I find having the mirror base in Hera is almost as bad or insulting as having it placed behind the smiths or the purple chest, because if you could get it before, you would win so much time. You would be able to go so much faster there. But no, please go over everyone to, hey, there's an item you might have needed to win some time here.
Probably my favorite one of those is when you get the Cane of Samaria in the back of Skullwoods in that one chest.
Yeah, that one's is as bad, yes. Oh, especially if you're low on heart and getting trolled all the time by the Kipdos and the Wallmaster.
All right, iamtheschwarz now heading over to Ice Tea Room. We'll be finishing up Ice Palace soon. saltyphry, of course, will be finishing up Tower of Hera soon, and we will be pretty close on dungeons at that point, with saltyphry having completed Thieves Town as well.
Yeah, we do not know yet if Thieves Down is relevant or not to the progression, because it's a pendant. So if we have a pet seed again, that's good for saltyphry. Otherwise, not that much.
All right, saltyphry going off to face off against Moldorm. No problem there. Just a quick slash and a spin to take that down. All right, saltyphry now taking care of Spike Cave. Very interesting. Just 10 arrows, though. All right. iamtheschwarz will now be checking our good friend the hobo, which I assume saltyphry is already taken care of. And saltyphry will be following the footsteps of iamtheschwarz, heading over to Schwamp. Did I say Schwamp? Sorry. That was not even intentional.
Okay, so we're over 1 hour and 20 minutes in this seed. What do we need in order to progress, or what we need for the go mode cry?
Well, we are going to need the fire rod for one. That is sort of the primary suspect right now. And the Desert Palace Big Key. And the Misery Mire Big Key. Those are the items that are at large that I believe that we need to complete this seed.
Okay, so Schwarz going to Zora, so he'll then be able to go back to Pod after that and finish it. Yeah, we're slowly having less and less available locations to check, but our runners, or at least Salty, has access to the Eastern Palace completely with the big key. Do you think the rod might be hiding there?
I feel I was reading the chat. Where are you asking me about?
The fire rod, might it be in Eastern? Because we've got
Eastern
access
Palace.
to there, and
Yeah.
I mean we're slowly running out of locations to check.
Schwarz, you're not going to the big chest of swamp, are you? Okay. I was worried. I'm like, why would you do that?
Okay, K45, just some arrows. No one's gonna miss that.
Pedestal can't really be the fire rod because the only remaining pendant dungeons for the pendants are Swamp, or not Swamp, Skullwoods and Turtle Rock, both of which require the fire rod. Wait, so do we even need the fire rod? I mean, we need it potentially in logic.
We will need it because either Skullwoods or T-Rock is a
Oh
pendant.
yeah, the other
meaning
one is
the
a
other
crystal.
one has to be a crystal, so it's gonna be needed
Yeah,
in
okay.
any case.
I am a smart person who does logic for a living.
Well, you got me also hesitating for a while, so that wasn't one of the easiest questions.
Good old pigeonhole principle. And saltyphry apparently did not get the memo about left side swamp. I don't believe Fire Rod can be in Turtle Rock. I believe we've checked every location that could be Fire Rod in Turtle Rock.
Exactly. We checked everything except the two chests after the Fire Rod locked location, and we just need also Trinex. So Trinex, we need the Fire Rod for him, so all the rest has been swept clean.
So what we mean by in logic is that the game expects you to be able to have certain amounts of items in order to access certain locations. And so if you don't actually have the items the game wants you to have to access a spot, then it's considered not in logic. But there are sometimes you can still get an item without having the full complement of things the game wants you to have. I mean, I actually do not know which of the dungeons are the 5-6 crystals. Do you?
I did not catch that because we almost had no map checks. I didn't really pay any attention to the color. What big key was that?
That was the big key of Ice Palace.
Oh. So far locations that we might need to check, or runners might need to check in order to get the fire road. The Ice Palace big chest, the Eastern Palace big chest, as well as Armos Knights. Also one location we forgot or left aside, Thieves Town big chest.
Oh boy. Alright, so we'll see what iamtheschwarz does here. We'll see if he decides to go to the big chest of Turtle Rock or not.
You meant pod, right?
Yes, I did mean pod. I do not know why I said Turtle Rock.
Yeah, he's got now both keys, so he's gonna check it fully. Doesn't need to try again the hammer jumps. Think he'll just go inside, mirror out, and then head straight to Almazar.
You know, I don't think we have had a catfish check. I'm not even sure we've had a pyramid check.
I don't think we did. I don't think we did.
Yeah, so catfish, pyramid, both of those could be some pretty useful items coming up. So saltyphry skipped the big chest because, if I'm not mistaken, he read the hint about it. He did have the big key for it. He just didn't need it. That is an awful lot of hearts. I agree. Turtle Rock is the other 5-6 crystal, so I believe we can rule out Fire Rod at the Pyramid Fairy as well. Yeah, saltyphry is going to go pick up the Gen's Tower big key.
Yeah, but we still have the pyramid as well as catfish. I would expect iamtheschwarz to maybe check both locations after dealing with Pod. Or maybe he'll deal with Eastern first, as he just found the big key chest. But yeah, those locations, don't think both runners will let them untouched for long.
The rewards for this tournament are being awesome. I believe that is the official reward. Yeah. Eastern Palace might be a pretty good check at this point after Pod, just because we're running low on locations where that Fire Rod could possibly be. It's kind of funny. We started this seed with like the lamp as soon as you could possibly need it, and we'll get the other end, the Fire Rod, sort of bookending the seed. It's kind of funny. Single rupee on Pyramid, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh boy, that leaves just catfish as an easy accessible location. Otherwise, our runners will have to deep dungeons again.
And you know, saltyphry was already salty per his name, but that would have just made me like extra salty. Some very high sodium content there. The reason they're putting off Misery Mire is they don't have the big key of Misery Mire. They have both actually checked everything else that they can actually get to in Mire. The Quake Medallion on the catfish, that's the vanilla item, which is ridiculous.
Also, we just do not need this item at all. So, yeah, users check. And saltyphry, yeah, just leaving the map behind. He's not going to come back for that.
So, you know, the facts, the fun facts. There is a mythological creature in Japanese folklore, which is called the Onamazu giant catfish, which is said to be responsible for causing earthquakes, which is why the catfish hands you the Quake Medallion in this game.
Okay, so iamtheschwarz going inside Eastern, open the big key, the big chest, found only a small key for Ganon's Tower. Yeah, where is this Fire Rod? Where is it?
And we get to Armos fight. 1 arrow per Armos of the silver variety. Pretty solid shots. Another GT small key. My question is, with the green pendant, can we make it 3 for 3 and get the full complement of GT small keys?
Yeah, I knew rage slashes from our runners, but rage bomb throws, that's a new one for me.
The bomb throw was not a rage. Big key of Desert Palace. That is progression, ladies and gentlemen. So, yeah, the bomb throw was actually so he could get through the portal and not take it. He actually picked it up, walked through the portal, then tossed it.
Okay, and we've got chat being everything except nice and telling us the Maya Biggie might be on the pedestal. Oh boy. Oh
Yeah,
boy.
Sure could. We also have that castle tower check that nobody's done yet.
Sorry, which check?
Oh wait, no, somebody did castle tower, right?
Yeah, I think Salty did.
Mushroom
nothing
was
of
in
value
there.
stuff.
Am I making that
Yeah,
up?
mushroom that brought nothing.
Yeah. Yeah, so pay no attention to the man behind the microphone. And we do note that with that knowledge of Turtle Rock being the other 5/6 crystal, we know that Skull Woods is the remaining pendant. So if Misery Mire Big Key is on the pedestal, we will need to find that fire rod first.
Yeah, this seed was all fun and games at the beginning, but the further we progress inside the seed, the more it earns its name of Key Sanity. That's right now. I think our runners are at their wit's end.
All right, silver arrow time for iamtheschwarz. Fires 1 into the wall, but that's just fine. Another piece of heart. And that gives us the remaining crystal. So we are now on 5 crystals for iamtheschwarz.
And I think most, if not all, of the other world has been checked. Desert Palace fully cleared, Eastern Palace as well. That leaves us with Thieves Town, big chest, Ice Palace, big chest.
Yeah. I am being told that there is one overworld location that really hasn't been checked, and that is the Graveyard Ledge.
Oh. What is Schwarz doing?
No, don't go for the big chest of swamp. You know this already. I mean, maybe he didn't get the hint. But yeah, unfortunately for one of our people in chat, I believe without the Misery Mire Big Key, we have checked everything we can in Misery Mire. So we're not going to find the Misery Mire Big Key in there. Could find the Fire Rod if we find the Mire Big Key, though. At least he does remember that the left side was garbage. Alright, saltyphry picking up the Ice Palace Big Key. And it looks like Schwartz is actually going to head for the Ice Palace Big Chest.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see if saltyphry decides on his side to go to Thieves Town. Because the one that finds the item will win. And if both runners go to different dungeons but the item is in Graveyard, that's gonna be really funny.
All right, so I'm the Schwartz making his way through the first part of Ice Palace here. Have to kind of slog through a bunch of these rooms again. Individually, none of them takes that long. It's just when you string them all together, you get a fairly long string of time, as well as all those screen transitions thrown in. Very nicely done. Stolfo's Night Room. As saltyphry prepares to go face off against the Landmolas with these silver arrows in tow. Another nice one-cycle fight.
And now will be interesting to see where saltyphry decides to head up. If he goes also to Ice Palace, then he's just following iamtheschwarz footsteps, but if he decides to go Thieves Town, things might get really interesting. Also, we haven't found the shovel yet.
The other castle tower small key is in Ice Palace. Interesting.
Interesting, and at this stage of the game, actually completely useless. No need to drag any more for them. They've got the tempered swords, they won't need the, to get this sword upgrade that's on the lumberjack. They've got full Darkhold access, and with the first key they were already having the access to the 2 chests. Yeah, that's not something you want to see right now.
Alright, so it looks like Schwartz is heading to the Pyramid Catfish situation.
Which is for him actually quite a nice routing, because checking the Pyramid and then Catfish, he can then come back and go with the hookshot directly to the Graveyard Ledge.
Yeah, and I think that's the intention, because he's already switched to the hookshot. Seems like the sort of play he'll be making. Yeah, he could do Graveyard Ledge first. Depends on how you want to set this up. Yeah, the Witch has been checked. It is just big 20. Which is a big 20? Yes. Alright, saltyphry is heading for the Village of Outcast portal, which means we may be seeing a play into Thieves Town.
Indeed, and depending on what he finds inside, he might then take the lead with this. At the moment, both runners died because both really need the same items. And we will also get both checks almost simultaneously.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty similar times that we reach these checks. And it's pretty exciting. Let's get the hype train going.
Yep. What are we gonna get inside the graveyard ledge?
I Am the Schwarz reveals a problem with bombing. Just a big 20. And so saltyphry heads over to the big chest of Thieves Town. What do we have?
What do we have? Come on, hammer this pack.
It's the big chest, big Meyer. Of Misery Meyer. So at this point, we can basically expect the fire rod to show up in either the big chest of Meyer or on Vitreous, right?
Is there anything else left?
I'm the Schwarz and saltyphry are now trading places because saltyphry, of course, doesn't know that the fire rod's not on Graveyard Ledge. I mean, it could be like the dig spot with the shovel in Meyer.
Yeah, something, commentator's curse?
Alright, so with that information, I expect saltyphry to go ahead and peace out. Now, the thing with I Am the Schwarz is I Am the Schwarz has not done any of the back of Thieves Town. Yeah, both runners did check both chests in Castle Tower. Got the mushroom from it, and both checked the witch as well. Alright, so I imagine the first thing we'll see saltyphry do here is head right and go for the big chest. Big 20, so it's time to go face off against Vitreous for that all-important fire rod or shovel.
So you basically, when they're clear mired, either they get fire directly or shovel leading to fire rod. But then it's just going to T-Rock, heading straight to Trinex and up GT, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, that's another possibility. The Skullwood's big key. as another sort of fetch quest thing. All right, so Schwartz goes ahead and gets Thieves Town taken care of, with saltyphry now heading to the Vitreous fight.
Yeah, and with his silver arrows, he's gonna make quick and short work of it. 1 arrow per small eyeball, 2 arrows for Vitreous, and down.
And it's the Fire Rod, and that's gonna be go mode.
At 1 hour, 51 minutes, 39 seconds.
They haven't done Mimic Cave, but they got a hint for it. They know it's a piece of heart. So the spooky accent glitch only works with the Fire Rod because the Fire Rod's splash damage uses the Z variable behind the scenes, and that's what actually hits the target. The Ice Rod doesn't have any splash damage, so that doesn't happen.
What is Salty doing? Is he going to Skullwood? Didn't he get the map check?
I don't know. It is a little bit strange that saltyphry is heading to the back of Skull Woods, considering he has everything he needs to complete this seed. Perhaps he mismarked his tracker and thinks that this is the 7th crystal that he needs.
Oh boy, this seed might be closer than we thought. This race, depending on how fast he clears Morphula, he might even lose the lead.
Oh, I sure hope he doesn't think it's all dungeons. That would be unfortunate, as the goal is specifically stated. So,
yeah, quick work of Morphula, and he's gonna get so disappointed with his reward.
So I have a theory. Do you know how saltyphry left Turtle Rock in the middle?
Yeah, which was a bit strange. So what's your theory on that?
Is it possible that he thinks he doesn't have the Turtle Rock big key?
Oh boy. Oh boy. That's something I really do not hope for him. I really hope he makes a quick inventory check. And now, he should see it right now. Well, we'll see if he heads to T-Rock or if he decides to try check other locations of the ped. Oh boy.
Oh, he's going for the ped.
Please not a shovel.
It's the map of Swamp Palace on the pedestal. Beautiful. I mean, yeah, I don't think saltyphry has that many more places he can look. The burrito of evil's bane. I'm sorry, that just made me laugh so much.
Okay, so we'll see now with saltyphry if he goes straight for T-Rock again or if he decides to go somewhere else. But yeah, your theory of him misplacing a key on his marker, on his tracker, I really hope for him that it's not the case. Because he already lost his lead, and just doing other checks would just lose him further, would put him further behind. I guess we'll see if he thinks he doesn't have a big key, he might go or decide to go on the right side with a fire rod locked location.
Yeah, that's what he's doing.
Oh boy.
So, just forgetting one little piece of information can lead you to can cause some real problems with the seed. Ask me how I know. Don't ask me how I know. This is not about me. The big key of Skull Woods.
Oh no, no. Salty, check your menu, please. Just check your menu. Open your menu and check the big keys. It's just... Oh god.
I hope he's aware that Key Sanity shows you where the keys are in your inventory.
Yeah, it only takes like a whole third of the screen. Oh boy. It's so focused on finding this key that it doesn't double check his information, which I also fully understand. But boy, I just hope for him that he doesn't find the shovel, because then it just wastes him more time.
Compass of Desert and the big chest of Skullwoods. So once again, saltyphry getting significantly trolled by this miscalculation. He's going for the Ice Palace big chest, it looks like.
Oh boy. Yeah, I think after this location, he won't have anything else left to check. Or are there any fire rod lock locations that might still exist? Don't think so. Yeah, he'll have to check his menu, or just... Yeah, he really needs to check his menu. Meanwhile, iamtheschwarz getting his last 7th crystal. So, no big key guessing game, because it's key sanity, so we found that already a while ago.
So we get to do the, like, essentially full go mode of Ganon's Tower. You walk in, you start going upstairs. So, that's pretty great. It's one of the things I enjoy about Key Sanity. You get all your weird gambles and stuff out of the way before you get into Ganon's Tower. Unless, of course, the Ganon's Tower big key is in there, in which case, well, so much for that. But today, it has already been found, and we are going in. saltyphry doing something that I will occasionally do and forgetting to hit the switch in the bomb jump room. That's somewhere in the classic derps list.
So now saltyphry is about to open the big key, the big chest. Let's see what he decides to do after that, because he's run out of locations.
He decides to quake it, is what he's decided to do.
And
Castle Tower small key.
What now? What now? Yeah, take a long look at this menu.
I think he's realized what's going on with the menu there.
Yeah. Oh boy. Yeah. Sword slashes. Let's see what happens now. Yep, I think he's seen it now. Meanwhile, iamtheschwarz just blitzing through the gauntlet already on the land mullahs too.
Hey, we had a gift sub there from Nornat to Wolf of the Fourth. Thanks for that. As iamtheschwarz takes care of Landmo 2. Turns out the Turtle Rock Big Key was inside you all along.
Yeah, that's key sanity in a nutshell. As if looking for these keys everywhere across Hyrule wasn't enough, you then also start looking for keys you already have.
Alright, iamtheschwarz now heading to the second torch room. Then head through Mini Helmazor. Hey, I didn't realize you could bonk that gap. I like it. It's a good strat.
Yep, I'm gonna steal that as well.
I mean, I don't know if it actually improves your time, but it's swag.
Number one, it's swag. Number two, there's no risk that you get bunked over the ledge by the top right fireball, which happened to me way too many times.
So the story here, as far as I can tell, is that saltyphry managed to forget that he picked up the Turtle Rock Big Key, and so he was clearing out the game looking for it, and he just now realized that he's had it for a long, long time.
At least 1.5 hours, because it was either in Village of Outcast or in Kakariko, and we had an early, really early Dark World access in this seed.
Alright, Schwartz picking up a double on that formation. This looks like it could be another double. Oh! Ooh, just barely getting trolled by these projectiles. They're just not coming at the right time. And there we go. iamtheschwarz taking care of Aga 2. It's Ganon time.
Yeah. Silver arrows, red mail, tempered sword, 19 hearts, plus 3 potions. Yeah, that doesn't bode well for Ganon.
I'm not sure either of our runners are that used to key sanity.
Yeah, after our talks of the Burrito of Evil's Bane, Ganon also signifies his love of burritos.
I would be a pedestal burrito.
Schwamp burrito.
A spicy schwamp burrito. All right, there is 1, 2, halfway through phase 3. One more hit and we'll be moving on to silver shots. Up to 19 hearts now.
How many seeds have you seen or commented where one of the runners had 19 hearts?
Not many. I'm gonna say like 3. I think I've seen 20 hearts once.
Was it a 100% seed or just happened that way?
It just happened that way. All right, iamtheschwarz takes down Ganon and should be crossing the finish line shortly. There we go. iamtheschwarz taking one off of saltyphry today with a time of 2 hours, 7 minutes, and 11 seconds. GG to Schwartz.
GG indeed.
And we will see if we can get Schwartz to come in here and talk about the stuff.
Meanwhile, saltyphry doing his ascension of Ganon's tower.
Right. Schwartz doesn't have a mic for us, so we'll continue following the match here.
So far, a nice gauntlet from saltyphry. Even though he must be quite frustrated at this point after noticing his mistake with a TRP key. Still getting way through. Small problems on the landmolars. Gets it on the second cycle.
Advancement for Zelda. That was one of the pod keys, I believe, on Zora.
Yes, exactly. It was a pod key.
All right, so we got saltyphry finishing out the falling bridge there. And we'll be heading over to the second torch room and the Helmasaur room shortly. This should finish up pretty quick. And the map sleeps again forever.
Yeah, not for Salty, but for Schwarz, yes.
Yeah, the map never woke up, to be honest, on Schwartz's stream. All right, saltyphry heading into the Aga 2 fight. Oh, wow. Pulls off a triple with that pattern. It's one on the second one. And that takes care of saltyphry's Aga 2. He's expressing his frustration at the wall. We'll see how saltyphry takes care of Ganon. Very nicely done.
Spicy shrub burrito.
Very nicely done with that one cycle first phase. And it looks like we'll get the one cycle second phase here as well.
Indeed, Ganon already teleporting over places.
That's into phase. That is hit number 3 of phase 3. On to the fourth hit, and we should be done relatively soon. The double shot, the double fire rod, and this will be another double for the win. And saltyphry takes down Ganon.
So, and with a time of 2 hours, 13 minutes and 55 seconds, saltyphry finishes second place. Chat, give him your GGs.
And it sounds like we're joined by saltyphry again. GG on finishing that.
Thanks. That was definitely interesting. An interesting experience, to say the least.
Yeah, so I'm told that neither of the two runners here were that familiar with Key Sanity. Is that the case?
I've done a few Key Sanity races before, not a whole lot. I tend to stick to the open, standard, inverted type stuff. So I kind of got an idea what's going on for the most part. I guess it wasn't so much my inexperience, I think, that really played in this. It was just more me not taking the right notes and noticing that I picked up the Turtle Rock Big Key.
Yeah.
Some of my routing was a little crummy generally as well, but I think Key Sanity is just generally that way. You're kind of running all over anyway because
that's what Key Sanity gonna do to you.
Like overall, I don't feel too bad about it. Like, I mean, at this point in time, I'm still in very good position in the tournament, so one loss here or there is not going to be the end of the world for me. But it is kind of what it is. It's kind of disappointing how it happened more than anything, because I imagine I was probably in all right shape besides that. And I don't know what might have happened had I actually realized that I had that Turtle Rock Big Key.
Well, you finished the you finished Misery Mire about when I Am the Schwarz picked up the big chest of Misery Mire. So you were ahead by about, I'd say, 65 seconds or so. So if you'd have headed straight to Turtle Rock from there and maintained that lead, you probably would have won. But other than that, still pretty close.
Yeah, that's worth considering that I probably would have fully cleared or at least got all the way to Laser Bridge and Turtle Rock when I was there. Because I obviously dipped out thinking I couldn't go any further because I didn't have the Turtle Rock Big Key when I was there the first time.
Right, and of course that is what your opponent did. Actually managed to find an additional Palace of Darkness key there. So.
Okay, yeah. I guess those are pretty much the only items I didn't end up getting in the end, other than what was in GT. So, yeah, I ended up clearing everything in the end.
Mm-hmm.
If it was an all dungeon seed, this would have been pretty good because I found that second castle tower key buried down there in the big chest of ice. So that would have been quite a find if that was the case.
Yeah, your opponent had already gone for that at that point because your opponent was actually putting off Thieves Town for the longest time.
Okay, yeah. It was kind of all of those kind of like one-off checks that were just kind of left at the start, I guess. Because you didn't have the big key or the small key you needed when you were in there, and they're really awkward to get back to all of those. Thieves Town's a little less so, I think, than Ice, but right. I don't know. That's just me.
Your opponent actually didn't go into Thieves Town a second time. Still had, at that point, still hadn't done the back of Thieves Town at all, so had 4 checks in there. And I think that's part of why they were delaying it, but also it's like, well, there's 4 checks in there.
That was kind of it. It's like every time I kind of was just looking, I'm like, well, where's the most checks that I kind of have? And that's kind of just where I would end up going in this situation. Just kept kind of following it that way. And early on, it felt like a real slog. Like I was looking, I had like 1 pendant done, like almost an hour in, and no crystals. I'm like, wow, that feels pretty crummy. It feels like I'm getting nowhere. So it's going to take me 2.5, 3 hours at this rate. But it started to pick it up a little bit after that, which helped a lot.
Very true. You know, the only relevant item that we find ourselves without today being the shovel. We were hoping you didn't find that at any point. That would have just trolled you even more.
I was almost expecting to find the shovel that would lead to the Turtle Rock Big Key in that last chest I was checking in Ice there.
So one of the theories in chat was that you thought that it was an all dungeon seed for a while there. But yeah, we figured out you were looking for the key that you had in your inventory. So I'm just making sure you're aware. You do know that the menu shows you the keys, right?
Yes, I do. It's just not very obvious. It's just not very obvious, more or less. Like it's not like you pull up your menu and you can see like a big medallion or something like that you have.
Right. And
like,
so the first time you actually
that was how I figured it out, right? Like, because I was actually looking at it and I saw the little check mark and I'm like, oh crap, I've had this all along.
The first time you pulled up the menu, actually looking for, wait, do I have this key or not? You're like, oh, come on.
Well, actually, yeah, like I got a little notepad next to me where I was making little notes and checking off basically what I thought I had and what I didn't have. And I guess, obviously, I had like the Turtle Rock Big Key that I needed on there, and I never checked it off when I got it, I guess, and that was kind of my problem.
Yeah, it was apparently fairly early. People are saying, I think, Kakariko Well or something like that.
Ouch. Wow.
But, I mean, when you're getting so many items at once, it can be hard to remember to mark the occasional key down.
As it is, this tournament is a large learning experience for me anyway. Like a lot of the modes, other than open and standard, I haven't really done a whole lot. So I kind of like it just because it's kind of forcing me out of my comfort zone where I'm going to have to learn little things like this. So there's going to be learning experiences along the way just like this. Like in my first Randomizer race in the tournament, I had a big issue with the bomb jump in Ice Palace because apparently you can't do that when there's flying enemies around. That apparently screws up something, so you can't bomb jump. So I wasted like 10 minutes trying to figure out what was going on there, because like I was almost certain I was in the right position for the bomb jump, and I couldn't figure out why it wasn't working. Right?
Were you by any chance being propelled upward?
I don't know. I honestly don't know exactly what was happening. To be honest with you,
I've had some times where, for some reason, no matter where I place the bomb, I end up flying upward, and I'm thinking maybe that's the reason.
Apparently, well, I honestly don't know anything about it. I was just going by what I was told what was happening by some people who supposedly know more in chat about it. So that's just what I'm going based on that. But
Well,
yeah,
all right
that
then.
just speaks to the learning experience that this tournament is kind of for me.
All right. So, do you have anything else you'd like to say to the public before we wrap things up here today?
I'll just say thanks to everyone involved. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks to the commentators, restreamers, trackers. And I might want to reconsider the back-to-back races, because both of my losses so far in this tournament are the 2 times I've done the back-to-backs, and they've been the second part of it. So maybe I should reconsider that.
Well, there is that. All right, I want to go ahead and thank both of our runners once again, iamtheschwarz and saltyphry, putting on an excellent show today. This was quite a race from where I'm sitting. I want to thank our tracker, Chirasu, for keeping track of all of the wonderful icons on the screen. And of course, my co-commentator, Julian Berlin. Thank you so much.
And thank you, Bobtastic, Dr. Bobtastic, for your commentaries as well, and all these insights on the logic and the key logic.
All right, everybody. So it has been a good time, but it's time to wrap this up. We've got some more races coming up later today, including another one on this channel in just a few minutes. We're going to have Andy versus Bwayne, so I'll be looking forward to that. And with that, I will just say that I have been Dr. Bobtastic. And for Julian Berlin, thank you all so much for watching, and we'll see you later.
Bye.